4 EastEnders exits confirmed amid tragic death story in iPlayer streaming release. A number of EastEnders characters have bid farewell to Albert Square, at least for now. It's been a big year for coming and goings in the soap, largely as a result of the 40th anniversary, which was celebrated in February. Amid a special week of episodes, show legend Martin Fowler was killed in the wreckage caused by a devastating explosion at the Queen Vic pub. Life would never be the same following his death, and one person has struggled more than anybody else: his ex-wife, Stacy Slater. She's locked herself away, refusing to leave her bedroom for weeks. In the meantime, her mum Jean had been left to run the household and scramble for some cash to support the huge family. Even Jean scarpered earlier in the week, leaving Stacy's teenage daughter Lily to rule the roost, caring for her younger siblings Arthur and Hope, alongside her own daughter Charlie. It became clear that she was struggling. Kat Slater formed an action plan to support her, and also urged Stacy to get her act together. In tonight's episode, she decided to brave the outside world. Heading out, she was spooked by the memorial for Martin. The gravity of the situation suddenly hit her, and she found comfort in Lauren Branning. She wondered how she coped walking past the Vic each day, given her sister Abby fell from the roof to her death. Stacy also reflected on her ex-husband Bradley, who met the same fate. Stacy then told Kat that she intended to make a big family dinner, which didn't exactly go to plan. As everyone tucked in, she became increasingly erratic and wondered where her coat had gone to. Freddie Slater admitted that he'd taken it to the laundrette, unaware that her phone was in the pocket. Priceless photographs of Martin and voicemails he'd sent her were gone forever. A heartbroken Stacy then darted across the square, attempting to break open the machine. Meanwhile, back at home, Arthur revealed something quite frightening to Alfie Moon. "We've decided to hold back on this information. You'll have to tune in tonight to find out what he said." An argument between Stacy and Lily ensued, with the youngster deciding that she needed time away to recover from a traumatic few months. After packing her bags to stay with birth father Ryan, Stacy came to a similar conclusion, alongside Arthur and Hope. They packed away photos of Martin into a shoebox and decided to spend some time with Lynn Slater. Although Martin wasn't there anymore, he'd always be by their side. EastEnders confirms unexpected news about show's biggest legend, just weeks after return. The fictional boozer, which has been at the centerpiece of the BBC soap since 1985, has seen quite a lot during that time. Oh, to be a fly on the wall. 18 months ago, it was a crime scene, with 6 Walford women complicit in the murder of Keanu Taylor. This was just a short time after the Knight clan moved in, joining Linda Carter and her infant children. Last Christmas was just as eventful, as Cindy Beale's affair with Junior Knight was exposed over the turkey dinner. Little did the residents realize, less than 2 months later, their lives would change forever. A horrific chain of events led to an explosion tearing through the boozer, reducing it to rubble. The Knights and Carters had to find a temporary home with Sonia Fowler while they eagerly awaited its reopening on VE Day. The party almost didn't happen, as many didn't want to celebrate following Martin Fowler's death in the blaze. Now, just weeks after order was restored, there's set to be even more upheaval. Earlier this week, the show's social media team made somewhat of a blunder, posting a behind-the-scenes video to TikTok. A "for sale by auction" sign was clearly visible hanging off the Vic in the background. Oops. Fans flocked to social media to pick up on the gaffe. Realizing that the clip was swiftly deleted to conceal the huge spoiler. Why are the Knight Carter clan moving on so quick? However, yesterday, after realizing that all and sundry had picked up on the huge revelation, EastEnders responded by poking fun at themselves. They shared a new photo of actors Tamika Empson, Emma Barton, and Elijah Holloway, who play Kim Fox, Honey and Harry Mitchell, all glancing down towards a phone. The post was captioned, "Desperately searching for clues in behind the scenes, learn EastEnders content." In the back of shot, directly behind the three, was the auction sign. But who will be the new owners? One viewer speculated that returning Max Branning could be signing on the dotted line. "I'd love to see Sharon and Phil back behind the bar. Max, as the owner, just wouldn't work." "Kim would be a good landlady," added another. A third said, "Chrissy Watts, now is your time." Vicky drops a game-changing EastEnders bombshell as the Mitchells are changed forever. A wild set of episodes for the Mitchells kick off when Zach Hudson puts the wheels into motion for his escape plan. Viewers of the BBC One soap have seen him grow desperate to form a relationship with Barney, who is still unaware that his real father is not Teddy Mitchell. Despite the constant threats from Nicola, it seems that Zach won't stop until he gets what he wants. Vicky and sister Sharon tried to warn him, but he clearly thinks Barnes is worth the risk. In upcoming scenes, he asks Ravi Gulati for a loan so that he can flee the area with Barney. Ravi is spooked by the suggestion and suggests that Nicola shouldn't be messed with. He then tells Zach that she recently asked him to move a dead body. With nowhere left to turn, he reveals all to Linda Carter, who implores him to go to the police if he wants to protect Barney. When he makes his way to the station, the detective thinks that they have enough information to arrest Nick. Later, Zach notices Harry's reaction to Nicola's arrest and decides that the time has come for him to reveal Barney's paternity to someone else, and hopes that he will join in on his plan to get the teen to safety. When Nick is released, Harry decides that he's going to spill Zach's secret to Teddy. Uh-oh. Nicola, the schemer that she is, refuses to acknowledge what has been said, but Teddy won't have it. He continues to press her for the truth, and as an argument breaks out, Harry rushes in with the revelation. He tells them all about Zach's plan to take Barney and takes desperate action to stop him. Bundling Zach into the boot of a car, he drives off into the distance. Teddy worries about what his son intends to do and intercepts a cinema trip attended by Nigel Bates, Honey, and Billy Mitchell. He tells them to give him a lift in the same direction, and the group charge away to try and stop Harry. Unfortunately, things soon take a turn for the worse. A car veers off the road and plunges into a freezing cold lake, with the survivors scrambling to try and save those who are trapped in the sinking vehicle. However, a much bigger horror is erupting back in Walford. As news reaches the victims' families, Vicky decides to take matters into her own hands by revealing a shocking truth to Barney. Has she told him about his paternity? EastEnders to air upsetting Nigel scenes ahead of dramatic car crash. The Mitchell storyline is set to collide in a possibly fatal way. Nigel, who has been having a tough time lately with missing his estranged stepdaughter and his worsening dementia, will tell Phil Mitchell next week that he's angry and upset that they didn't celebrate his birthday. Phil is left feeling confused. As Nigel previously said, he didn't want to make a fuss. So he goes to Alfie Moon, Yolande Truman, and Honey for advice. After talking to them, he asks Nigel what's really getting him down. Phil suggests they do something to celebrate his birthday, even if it's a little belated. And Nigel proposes a cinema trip. As Honey, Billy, and Nigel are about to head off to the pictures, Teddy intercepts them, having learned the truth about Nicola and Barney, and working out that Harry has kidnapped Zach Hudson. He demands a lift so he can catch up to his son. Unfortunately, it will lead to potential disaster, as one of the cars swerves off the road and begins to submerge in a lake. But which car took the plunge? And which characters are in danger of not making it? Actor Paul Bradley made his return as Nigel at Christmas, as he and Phil reunited during very low points in both of their lives. Soap boss Chris Crenshaw teased at the time that he would be back for a long stint, so hopefully this storyline isn't a tragic end for the fan-favorite character. Warring EastEnders legends put feud to bed after major news is issued. You might want to sit down before reading on. Cindy Beale and Kathy Cotton made some sort of truce in tonight's EastEnders. I wouldn't expect it to last, either. Let's face it, the two women haven't seen eye to eye for almost 4 decades. After all, Cindy is the one who tore Kathy's golden boy Ian's life to shreds on more than one occasion. There was no joyful reunion between the pair when Cindy miraculously returned from the dead in 2023, revealing that she had spent 25 years in witness protection. Kathy even warned Ian on numerous occasions that his apparently devoted partner would cheat on him again. And her suspicions went into fruition when Cindy hopped into bed with her former stepson, Junior Knight. Lauren Branning decided to expose the affair on Christmas Day, also revealing that the mother-in-law from hell had been supplying her with drugs throughout her pregnancy. To cut a long story short, Kathy then picked up a snow shovel and whacked Cindy around the head with it. Brutal. In a dramatic confrontation, Cindy learned her attacker's identity, shot Ian, and then pushed him towards a car that would go on to cause an explosion to ignite from within the Queen Vic pub. Ashamed, Cindy then fled the area, and upon her return, wanted revenge. She demanded that Kathy and Ian hand over their home and businesses to her, and eventually got her hands on the Prince Albert bar. But her revenge plan didn't stop there. She then played a video of Kathy kissing Harvey Monroe in front of everyone. In tonight's episode, they came face to face once again during Lauren's hour of need. She had rushed her newborn baby Jimmy to the hospital, noticing that there was something strange with his eyesight, with Ian and Peter also heading there. Youngster Louis had been left in Kathy's care. As he tucked into his chicken nuggets, Cindy swanned in and demanded some time with her grandson. Kathy was uncertain, but given the circumstances, she wasn't in the mood to argue. The two then kept vigil, anxiously awaiting for an update. Ian then called and broke some heartbreaking news. Jimmy's eyes haven't formed properly, and he will be visually impaired for the rest of his life. Suddenly, the animosity disappeared between Cindy and Kathy. As tears filled their eyes, they leaned onto one another for support. But for Cindy, is this a guilty conscience? Was she responsible, indirectly, for causing Jimmy's blindness?